Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. أما بعد أحبتي في الله السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أسأل الله الكريم رب العرش العظيم أن يتولنا في الدنيا والآخرة. أحبتي في الله, a question was asked by a sister, and she said, I'm a single mother and I have 3 children and I was recently divorced. Can you please advise me? So first and foremost, if a marriage has been completely terminated and that there is no reconciliation, and this is a real reality for many of us, that sometimes people cannot reconcile their differences in Islam. And Islam provides for us a means, and that means sometimes is through the khula or sometimes through the divorce, meaning separation or talaq or divorce. And with that being the case, and there being children involved, then now that leaves the mother usually with certain responsibilities, extra responsibilities, aside from just being a good mother. And that means she may be responsible for the education and the caring of her children in totality. And so in Islam, as we know, that the father is still responsible for his children at all times. That responsibility, even if the marriage was terminated in a negative way, the father is still responsible for his children because children were involved. So with that being the case, it's very important for us to know and understand that the father is not relieved of his responsibility. Now we need to talk about reality. And now we need to talk about this particular situation. And may Allah make all of our affairs easy and good. So first and foremost, and may Allah rectify your condition and affairs, is take care of your mental health. And the reason I say that, because there is no doubt inevitably an increased amount of stress when a person is a single parent, whether that's a man or a woman, but especially from the women's side, being a single mother is completely stressful. And having children, period, is stressful. But especially when you bear all that responsibility of their tarbiyah, of their education, of their financial, they need a coat, they need new shoes, they need food on the table and a roof over their head. So all of those things can be quite stressful, especially if the father is not taking care of his responsibility. So with that being the case, taking care of the mental health is very important. And some of the ways that you can take care of your mental health and just kind of help yourself and assist yourself. First and foremost, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَاسْتَعِينُوا بِالصَّبْرِ وَالصَّلَاةِ وَإِنَّهَا لَكَبِيرَةٌ إِلَّا عَلَى الْخَاشِعِينَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, في كتاب المبين, وَاسْتَعِينُوا بِالصَّبْرِ وَالصَّلَاةِ, that you seek help. وَاسْتَعِينُوا, seek help. بِالصَّبْرِ وَالصَّلَاةِ, with patience and prayer. So first and foremost, being patient for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and increasing your prayer to Allah Azza wa Jal. Likewise, even dua and just general ibadat. Increasing your ibadah can help you fortify yourself as a believer in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, fortifying your heart and your mental. So this is very important to take care of that and use a Sharia-based means. Also, in addition to that, as far as trying to, increase your mental well-being, it's very important to have good companionship. And that means good sisters, hopefully a family and family support. And I mean good family. And good sisters, not just any Muslim sisters or whoever supports you. And not just any family, because yes, we love our families, but not all of our family members want good for us and want to help us with our well-being, with our mental well-being and our mental state. So sometimes people can be a source of harm to us. And the Prophet ﷺ said, La darar wa la dirar. There's no harm and there's no reciprocating harm. So you don't want to be around harmful people. And the Prophet ﷺ also said, Al-mar'u ala dina khalilihi. A person is on the religion of his companions. And so good companionship, whether that's a family member, whether that is friends, good companionship. And good companionship doesn't mean that they're good at the club. No, it means that they are good in supporting you, that they, mentally, spiritually, physically, what have you. And they are good at supporting you in your deen. And that's the spiritual aspect, that they are the ones who are going to say, hey, maybe you need to make istikhara about this situation. Maybe you need to do this. Maybe you need to do that. Maybe you need to look at this avenue. So they're going to encourage you to do good. Secondly, it's very important, as we mentioned, the patience and prayer, and we mentioned the good companionship. So we could say, thirdly, that it's very important to have some sort of outlet, some activities to help to support yourself. And that's also a part of your mental and physical well-being, that you have some sort of outlet. If you like outdoor things, do some outdoor things. Go skiing and snowboarding or hiking or whatever, or walking in the park. Doing some things that you have as a positive, righteous outlet. Also, we can never forget this, and this comes before that in essence, and that's seeking Islamic knowledge, because Islamic knowledge is a beautiful source of healing, and it's a source of dealing, meaning dealing with stress and trials and difficulties. So do not forget to seek and advance your Islamic knowledge through study circles in your local masajid, or by distance learning, if that's all you're able to do. However you can do that you are getting that soul food, which is based on the book of Allah and the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, then that's what you need to grab. You need to hold on to that, and that will help you in dealing with all kind of trials and tribulations and difficulties with regards to your deen and things that you are looking for a religious means of dealing with it. You need it. It only comes through ilm. So also another aspect of that is you're able to establish ties based on ilm. And what I mean by that is we all need a tie and a connection with Ahl al-Ilm. Really, we do. We need a tie and connection with the people of knowledge. So if it is through, you are in a study circle and you are, your local imam or your sheikh, or if it's by distance, some of the people through Telegram, I sit in some classes sometimes with some of my scholars, and there you see a lot of sisters and a lot of brothers and what have you. Everybody is doing talib al-ilm. They're trying to learn from the sheikh, and then they get an opportunity to ask questions to the sheikh. So this is that tie. She may be in Morocco and the sheikh's in Saudi Arabia, or she may be in England and the sheikh is in Saudi Arabia. There's still a connection, a cyber community, which is very important for being able to gain Islamic knowledge and getting fatwa and things like this. So that's very important also. And I would say finally, which is very important, that although your scenario may be a recent divorce, but these are things to think about in the future, is remarrying. And that's very important, because even if a single parent is able to raise their children, they can never be both sides of the coin in totality and with perfection, meaning play the role of a man and a woman at the same time. So it's very important for the balance and great blessing that there's a man there to be able to show the children the side of the discipline of a man, the authority figure, if there's boys involved, the boys need to learn how to be men. And likewise the opposite. So it's very important also to think about that in the future, after healing, after going through this time and growing through this time, that you have this, that you do this, because this is a completion of the religion. And although I don't know of any authentic texts to support that saying that the people, and I could be wrong, it could be an authentic hadith, I don't know about its authenticity. We know a lot of people say you complete your deen and so forth through marriage, but it's very true in its mana. Its meaning is very true, that this is a huge part of being a Muslim, and especially a Muslim as you get older, as a family, to have a family. This is very important, that to be in having a spouse, and having a righteous, good spouse that can direct you to khair. And that's just some of the advice that I can offer. And we ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Almighty, accepts our good and forgives our evil, and makes all of our affairs easy and good, and protects us from kulli su wa makruh. Wa sallallahu wa sallam ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam.